morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you're today, hope you're feeling grand. And always in your world, hello there. Hi, welcome to another Q&A, everybody. So let's get straight to it, shall we? Get to question 1 today. Question 1 today is, I have a Peter Green vintage lemon drop and a Marshall MG30 DFX combo. But I can't get the tones you got in your demo of the MG30. Was you using any pedals? No. When I demoed the MG30, I wasn't using any pedals. It was all straight into the amp. And this comes up quite a lot. This whole thing of like, you know, why doesn't my amp sound like yours? And I can't get that sound that you get and this, that, and the other. It's... I don't understand the ins and outs of that, personally. I don't... Because a lot of people have messaged me trying, well, I've tried your EQ with everything off, basically everything on 0, and it just sounds muddy and dark and doesn't sound anything like your sound. Why is that? I really don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. And as far as this question goes, like I said, I wasn't using any pedals. It was all straight into the MG30. I wasn't using anything else. And why can't you get the sounds? I'm guessing it's due down to yourself, your leads, your guitar, the room. There's all sorts of different kind of little kind of things, if you will. I can't think of the exact word then. That can make things not sound the way they sound, or whatnot. Because I don't know. It's a really strange thing. I get asked this question quite a lot, actually, of like, you know, why can't I get the sounds you got in X, Y, and Z video, even when I'm using the exact same gear. If somebody's got like a CR120 and, you know, people still kind of say, well, it doesn't sound anything like yours. It's like there's so many little factors. That's the word I was after, everybody. Factors. Get there in the end. But yeah, there's so many little factors in that question that I don't understand the reasons to. You know, why doesn't your MG30 on your lemon drop sound the same as my lemon drop and Joe's MG30 when I plug into it? I don't know. I mean, I would always say my settings that I have on something like the MG30 or the CR120 or the MGs, they want to be a jumping off point for you. They don't want to be set in stone, because that's what works for me, but it might not work for you. You know, it's a 50-50 chance. It'll either work or it won't work. And what you've got to kind of do is take those EQ settings that I've shared in my videos, or what I'm using in the videos, and basically tweak and mess around with it so it works for you. You've got to find your own kind of way of making it work, if that makes any sense. You can't just kind of like go, well, he sets it like this, this, and this, and this, and there you go. It's very rare that'll happen. Because I've always been kind of like one of those things of kind of like, when I was first starting out, I was like obsessed with getting John Frusciante's tone. I still am obsessed with getting John Frusciante's tone. And then like years later, when I saw those pictures of his Silver Jubilee and his Plexi, I tried those settings on a Plexi, my 50 watt Plexi, but his settings he had on his major, I tried on my small box Plexi, and it didn't work. And I was like, well, why is that? It's the same settings, surely that should work. But no, it doesn't work. You have to use these things as like a jumping off point, and then kind of and then spend time just tweaking and messing around until it, you know, it suits your ear, or it's the sound you're after. It's not. Sadly, there's no quick way of saying like, you know, these are the settings I used. You know, I wish that was the case. I wish it was a case of turn your amp to this setting, plug in your guitar, and away you go. I wish it was that simple, but sadly it's not. It's there's a lot more little factors. I'm going to use that word loads now. Now I know what it is. In dialing in an amp, there's so many little factors that does come into it, and it comes down to like, you know, your leads, the way you play, the guitar itself, no two guitars sound the same. So, like, you're saying your Lemon Drop doesn't sound like my Lemon Drop. It's not going to. You know what I mean? No guitar will sound the same as anything else. Every guitar has a slightly different tone to the one that was built before it, or the one after it, or the one 6 months down the line from it. And the same thing with amps. The way that MG30 sounds will sound totally different to the way your MG30 sounds, or the one made after it, or the one made before it. There's these little kind of variables when things are made that makes things very kind of individual, so to say. Like, all guitars, all leads, all pedals, all amps, us, the way we're made as well, makes for everything to be really individual. And because of that, because none of the two are the same, and it runs through everything, I say humans and gear and everything, we're never going to be exactly the same, in the way we sound. We can only approximate. We can only ever guesstimate and approximate to where things lie, so to say. So what I will say is, like I said, I didn't use any pedals in the MG30 demo at all. I didn't use any pedals. I was straight in for the whole video. As far as now, I'm pretty positive. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty positive I didn't use any pedals. I don't like to use pedals when I'm demoing amps, unless I'm trying to demo something with, like, to show a pedal works really well for it or something. But most of the time, I'm straight into amps. I don't like to kind of muddy the waters, so to say, with pedals or anything like that. I like to go straight in, and then you kind of hear the amp, which is what the video is about. You're not hearing a pedal with the amp. It's just the amp. So, yeah, I wasn't using any pedals. And like I say, if yours doesn't sound that way, then, you just have to just sit with it and play around with it and just tweak and tweeze it. Because the setting I have on the MG30 when I plug into it is very strange, because I don't use treble and I don't use the contour. You might have to. You might find you might need to turn the contour up, or turn the treble up, or turn the bass down, or whatever. You've just got to kind of take it for what it is. Like, if I'm guessing you have to kind of like a Peter Greeny kind of like bluesy tone with a Les Paul. So, yeah, I mean, just add a bit more kind of like treble to it, or just try using the contours to kind of scoop the mids a bit, maybe on the Les Paul, kind of like to get rid of some of the mid range. I don't know, just play around. If there is a lot to be said to just messing about with your gear. It's really cool to have, like, somebody say, like, if you do this and this, you'll get X, Y, and Z result. But I think I spoke in my last Q&A. It's like, there's a lot to be said for when you do it yourself and just play around yourself, just mess around with stuff. Just kind of like, what happens if I put this pedal here instead of here, and what happens if I turn this dial up instead of that dial, and what happens if I do this and do that. And in all fairness, that's the most fun you can have, in my opinion, with guitar, apart from, outside of playing music, because it's just fun. Because you never know where it's going to lead you, and that's quite cool. And sometimes you'll hate it, sometimes you'll love it, and it's like when you love it, it's wicked. When you hate it, it's not so cool. But that's life, isn't it? At the end of the day, we all have to suffer things sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I get asked this quite a lot of, like, why does your John Frusciante setting you use work for you and not for me? Why does this Jimi Hendrix sound work for you and not for me? And again, like I said, there's so many little factors in that whole kind of question. It's hard to pin it down to kind of like one thing and saying, well, it's this and this and this, because, like I say, no two of the same thing. No two of the same are the same. If that makes any sense, that doesn't probably make any sense. But, like, your CR120 is different to my CR120. Your speakers are different to my speakers. Your leads are different to my leads. Your pedals are different to my pedals. Your hands are different to my hands. The way you approach the guitar is different to my approach to the guitar. All these little factors lead to what we are at the end of the day, and give us an individuality. Eventually, it takes time. It takes years. It's something I'm working on, and might get there at some point, maybe in my life. But that's what I'm aiming for in my guitar playing, is to be very individual, to kind of like to be me, to be an amalgamation of my heroes, which is me. You know, so John Frusciante, Jimi Hendrix, Peter Green, Rory Gallagher, all these people mushed together in a pulp that becomes me. Like I say, there's so many little kind of like little bits and pieces, you know, but it's hard to say exactly why. I'm pretty sure no one knows 100% why we don't sound the same, but I think that's part of the coolness of playing guitar, is the fact that no two players are the same. You know, and I love that. I love the fact that we've all got our own individual approaches, our own individual kind of like ideas and ideals, and you know, quirks and whatever when playing the guitar. I think it's one of the most amazing things in the world. I love that about musical instruments, because everyone approaches it from a different angle, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, sorry, that's not really much of an answer, is it? Sorry, I do apologise immensely. But in all fairness, I don't actually have an answer for all that. Why can't you get the tones I got? It's like, you know, it could be anything. Like I say, it could be the guitar, it could be the leads, it could be the amp, it could be, you know, it could be anything. It really could be anything. It could be the room you've got it set up in. It could be anything. It could be a speaker in your MG30 might be totally different to mine. It might be more worn in. It might be less worn in. You know, it's there might be something totally unique about that one or yours that makes it do what it does. You know, it's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing, and it's quite a thing difficult to answer. But yeah, I can tell you, I'm pretty positive I didn't use any pedals in that demo. I'd have to go back and watch it, which is something I don't really like doing, because I don't like watching my own videos. I don't like watching myself at all. I hate editing videos because I go, oh god, look at him. Ugh. Anyway, but yeah, pretty much, I don't really know. You know, we all sound different. We're all individual because of that, and I think that's that. I think that's the cool part about playing music and playing guitar, is the fact we are all different and we all are individual, and we all have our own approaches and, like I say, quirks and whatnot. So not much of an answer. I do apologise immensely for that. I'm very, very sorry, but I really don't have an answer to that. I really don't. I'm very, very sorry. People of the tube, feel free to chime in on this, because I don't really have an answer for it. So if anybody has any insight into it, please write a comment in the comment section below. Okay, so moving on to question 2 now. Question 2 today is, what's the best budget wah pedal and when do you use one? Okay, the best budget wah pedal to me is the Vox V847. I don't think I ever get those numbers the right way around. I don't know if that's the right way around. But anyway, that's the right numbers, not necessarily in that order. But the Vox Silvertop is, in my opinion, the best wah pedal. It's my favourite wah pedal of all time and space. It just really is. It beats the Ibanez Wah for me. It beats Crybabies by a million miles for me. And yeah, I just love it. There's just something extremely special in the Vox Wah. It's got a really unique voice. Again, coming back down to that thing of you being unique. It's got a really unique voice and a really unique sweep, and it's very, very clean. It's a really clean wah-wah, and I love it for that. I absolutely adore my Silvertop Vox. And the point is, I need to get another one just in case mine dies, because I'm terrified of... well, I'm not terrified. I just don't want to have to use my Crybaby, because I just don't like it. I got my Crybaby out the other day just because I was curious, and yeah, I still don't like it anymore. But I can't sell it because it was my first ever wah-wah pedal, and I've got a lot of sentimental value attached to it, and I've used it so much, and I've been through a lot with it. So yeah, but I don't use it. You know, I prefer the Vox. So, and it's really cheap. I mean, in England they're like 70 quid, and that is just ridiculous. And I love that. I mean, 70 quid is still a lot of money, but they're still on the budget level when you look at kind of some wah pedals I've seen that are like 200, 300 quid. Which kind of blows my mind. I don't know why you'd buy a wah pedal for like 300 quid when the Vox does the exact same thing. You know, they both go wah at the end of the day. But personally, I would recommend the Vox V847 or the V487 or whatever it is, the silver-topped one, the chrome-top wah, to anybody. Over any wah pedal in the world, I would recommend that one. I just love that wah pedal. I am absolutely like I said in previous videos, I'm a creature of habit. So once I find something I love, I just stick to it, and I don't deviate really. It's very rare I'll deviate, but I will try everything. You know what I mean? If somebody came along and said, try this wah pedal, I would try it. But it would have to be as good or better. Well, it would have to be better than the Vox. It'd have to speak to me on a really high level to replace my Vox wah wah. But I don't know. But yeah, but it's very important though, the silver top, not the black top. The black top is more crybaby-ish. The black top Vox sounds more like a crybaby, whereas the silver top just is very. It's got a big sweep. It's very clean. It's got a great voice to it. It's got a great sound to it. So that's the wah pedal I would recommend if you're on like a budget. And you also said when do I use one? Whenever I feel like it. It's literally as simple as that. I mean. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, unless I'm playing a song like Voodoo Child, where you have to use one in the intro, or if I've come up with a song where the wah pedal is part of the riff, or I'm playing a song where the wah pedal is part of the riff, like say Voodoo Child, or something like Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine, or Burn a Midnight Lamp by Jimmy Again, or something like that. Then if it's not a must, then I'll just use it whenever I want to use it. I like to not be tied down to kind of like, you've got to use this, and this song, and you've got to use that, this, and other. Unless, obviously, the song's written that way, and then you've got to serve the song. If you wrote a song with a chorus pedal on, and that's the distinctive sound of that riff, it's like Soul to Squeeze by the Chili Peppers. John Soul to Squeeze has got chorus on it. It would sound weird if John didn't use chorus on that song. So if you go against it, you're not serving the song, so to say, because it becomes part of the song. But the effect is part of the song. But as far as wah pedals go, there aren't many points where I'm kind of tied down to using that as an effect if I need to use it. It's just when I feel like it effect, the wah pedal more than anything. And I think that's the way the wah pedal should be, because the wah pedal is, because you're manipulating the wah, it's not like a distortion pedal where you're turning it off and on, or a chorus pedal or anything like that. Because you actually physically move the wah wah, it's a real feel thing. You've got to feel when you want it and when you don't want it. You know what I mean? And kind of like stuff like that. So it's just when I feel like it, really. It's just there's no kind of there are specific points, but there's no specific points. If that makes any sense. That probably doesn't make any sense, but hopefully you understand what I mean. I can't think of any time that I kind of like feel like I have to use it all the time, kind of thing. It's unless, like I say, I'm playing Voodoo Child in the intro and stuff like that, but. But yeah, it's you. I don't know, what I mean. But it's just one of those things that I use when and everyone wants to be using effects when they feel like it. If you're halfway through a guitar solo and you want to stick a delay on, stick a delay on. You know what I mean? If it's gonna inspire you, and do it. If it's a real kind of like if it's not gonna work, then But you've got to go by feel. You've got to go by what feels right. Sometimes it can go badly. Sometimes it can go really well. But you've got to do what you feel, and you've got to fail to succeed. In that kind of thing. It's the same way as anything, really. So yeah, I hope that's a question. I'm going to move on to question 3 now, because I'm going to go off on massive tangents if we're not careful. Okay, so question 3. What do you think about guitar lessons in person, one-to-one? Are they worth the money? Yes and no. It all depends on the tutor more than anything else. Some guitar tutors can be overzealous and just teach you Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for 10 weeks and never actually teach you anything. And they do exist, and they just kill the joy, they kill the love, and you'll put the guitar down and never come back to it, and that's that. I've known a lot of people in the past who have had guitar lessons like that, where you're learning kind of theory and scales and stupid melodies like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and they've given up. They just they quit. They sold the guitar and sold the amp, and that was that. Whereas you get the other side of guitar teachers who are basically teaching you what you want to learn, which is the most important thing. When you're playing guitar, you learn what you want to learn, not what somebody tells you to learn. Because you know when you're ready to learn certain things. If you just want to learn songs, your favourite songs, then do that. If somebody says, oh, you need to learn theory, you need to understand why that song works, no, you don't. Who says? Just because you said it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? It's silly to think that way. So, yeah, it really comes down to the teacher you've got. If the teacher is teaching you what you want to learn and teaching you well, and you're enjoying it and you're having fun and you look forward to it, then yeah, it's totally worth it. It's totally worth the money. It's totally worth the time. On the other hand, if they're not teaching you what you want to learn and they're just reading it from a textbook, and it just becomes sterile and boring and just kind of like, oh, this is really dreary, I don't want to do this anymore, then they're teaching you wrong and it's not worth it. For all the money in the world, that isn't worth it, because it's just not. It's not teaching you guitar. It's not teaching you music. It's not teaching you a love of music or to develop a love of music through playing a guitar. It's just boring you. You know, it's just boring you, because if you want to go in and say, if you say to your guitar teacher, I want to learn AC/DC, you shook me all night long. And they say, well, we'll get to that in a couple of weeks, but first you've got to learn this scale, and you've got to understand that scale in major and minor and all this kind of thing, and you've got to understand that. It's like, but I want to just learn AC/DC. It's like, yeah, but you need to understand this first. No, you don't. I have heard that a million times, and it's just outrageous. Oddly enough, a cousin of mine, one of their kids is taking guitar lessons in school, and the guitar teacher didn't tell them they needed a tuner for a start. So they didn't say they needed a tuner. So that's ridiculous. You know, what happens when the guitar goes out of tune and you're a beginner? Ridiculous. I couldn't actually believe that a guitar teacher was saying you don't need to tune it, or never even brought it up. Boing. Silly boy. Okay, so they said they didn't need a tuner, and they were just teaching really stupid things. Not songs, just single string melody lines. It's not teaching guitar. It's not teaching guitar at all. That's like, you know, that's like the textbook of how to learn guitar, and the textbook needs throwing out the window and burning in a big fire, because everybody learns differently. Everybody sees and wants different things when they're learning guitar or learning an instrument in general, you know. And it's up to you, more than the teacher, to progress, you know, to put the time and the effort in to earn the progression. But the teacher should be there to help guide you, and when they're not, it becomes very, very difficult. Okay, so yeah, depending on how they're teaching you and what they're teaching you, yes, guitar teachers can be worth it. But if you feel it's not beneficial to you, don't do it. If it's not teaching you what you want to learn, and I really have to stress that, what you want to learn, then he's not the right tutor, or she's not the right tutor for you. You know, you have to learn what you want to learn. It's no good a guitar teacher, be he or she, teaching you what they reckon you should be learning. You know, it's down to what you want to learn, not what they tell you should learn. Because if you, like I say, if you want to go in and learn AC/DC riffs, and they're not going to teach you it, it's like, well, what are you? You know, are you a teacher or what? You know, because if you know how to play AC/DC, and somebody wants to learn AC/DC, and you know how to play the song that they want to learn, then teach them that. You know, if it's hard, fair enough, simplify it. You know, it's not hard to simplify stuff, just to kind of like, you know, say it works. I taught this young lad years and years ago to play guitar. I was teaching him to play guitar, and he wanted to learn "I Believe in a Thing Called Love" by The Darkness, but he couldn't do power chords. You know, the power chords were way like, you know, years off being able to play power chords, just because he had, you know, he was very young. He had small hands, and he just couldn't do it. So I just taught him it in fours. So instead of going, do it in power chords. I just did it in fourth. So it's, I can't remember what I did for that bit, but it was simple and then you're not playing power chords. You're just playing these two notes, and it still sounds like the song. Apparently, it's not as big, but it still sounds like the song. So like I say, if they're not teaching you what you want to learn and what you want to kind of get better at, I don't know what that was, a bit of fluff getting in my way, go away. Then, yeah, they're not worth it. You really need to find somebody who's going to teach you exactly what you want to learn when you want to learn it, and he's going to bring the best out of you and make you want to go home and practice. There's nothing worse than coming out of a guitar lesson going, you know what, God, I can't be asked to play the guitar. That has just killed me. You don't want that. You want to come out of a guitar lesson going, right, I can't wait to get home and plug in my guitar and practice that all night long until 5 o'clock in the morning, or whatever. You want that. You don't want kind of like, ugh, you look at the guitar like, I don't want to do that. And homework as well. This is one thing that got me laughing, because my sister used to take guitar lessons at school, and they used to get homework for guitar. It's like, but the homework wasn't anything cool. I can understand if homework's like, learn your favourite song, these are the chords, go away and learn it and enjoy it, and next week you're going to come back and you're going to perform it. That's cool. That's well cool. That's well exciting. But it was kind of like, learn the major scale to a metronome. Learn it to a metronome or you will die. You will be cast into the pit of eternal peril, and you will burn with all the other guitar heretics who haven't learned scales. It's stuff like that. Absolute nonsense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know where that came from, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it was silly stuff like that. Like I say, it's not learn. These are the chords to your favourite song. Next week you're gonna come and perform it for the class. Yeah, it's gonna be nerve-wracking and fun, but it's good fun. And it doesn't matter if you mess up. Everyone messes up, some guitar teachers don't teach you anything of value whatsoever, whereas some guitar teachers will teach you everything of value. It really comes down to the teacher at the end of the day, and their approach to and being open-minded to other people. I always feel that kind of like, you've got to, as a, when you're teaching guitar, you've got to teach what people want to learn. There's no point teaching them whole tone minor scales, if that's even a thing, if they don't want to learn it. It's like, I want to learn The Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring or Basket Case by Green Day. Oh no, well we're gonna learn Sweet Child of Mine today, but I want to learn this. No, we're gonna learn Sweet Child of Mine because I like that song. I don't care what that kind of thing. I hate that. I can't stand that. Anyway, I'm gonna move along because I think I'm waffling here. Tangent boys in effect, but yeah, some guitar lessons are worth but I can't talk anymore, everybody. I've forgotten how to talk. If I was a boring person, which I am, I could have answered that question really quick, but there's no fun in that. I enjoy the tangent thing. It's silly. It's not silly. What am I about? I don't know what I'm about anymore. Anyway, I hope that's answered your question. I've lost my mind. Come on, Dave. Back in the room. Zoom! Let's rewind. Anyway. Yes, like I said, some guitar teachers are worth it, some just aren't. You have to judge it by if you feel you're getting anything out of it, and if they're killing your motivation, run for the hills! If they're not killing your motivation, stay where you are. Okay, and some of them are worth the money, some of them aren't. Like I say, it just depends on the teacher and their approach, and are they going to teach you what you want to learn, or are they just teaching you what they want to learn, or because it says so in a book somewhere. Okay, so I hope that's your question. Moving on to question 4 now. Lost my mind at the end there, but hopefully we got it back now. Okay, so question 4. I've heard they are discontinuing the Ibanez Wah WH10 V2. Have you heard anything about this? Yeah, I thought it was discontinued. Well, oddly enough, about a year or so ago, I found out the V2 was discontinued. And then it came back more expensive. Because when I used to have two and I sold one, and I wish I'd never sold it. My own stupid fault. But when I got mine, they were about 70 quid. They were just, they were the same. Yeah, they were. They were the exact same price as my Silvertop Vox Wah. And then they got discontinued for a while, and they just disappeared. You couldn't find one anywhere. And then they came back, and they were like the best part of 100 quid. And the ones I've seen recently on eBay are like 120 quid. And I was just like, because I want another one. Just to be greedy. Like I say, a creature of habit. Just because I want what I like. I want what I want, to quote Tool. But yeah, I was going to get another one. And then I realised 120 quid. And it's like, that's way above my budget of what I can afford to buy, like, wah pedal wise. So, you know, it was like, well, what the hell? But, yeah, I have heard things about them discontinuing it, but it's like, you know, I don't really know what Ibanez are playing at. Because there's a lot of problems with the V2, but the V2, when it gets what it wants, is amazing. My problems with the V2 is the way it comes. When you get it, there's like these stupid rubber bars under the foot pedal. There's way too many of them, and they're there to make it kind of hard to turn off and on, but they make it impossible to turn it on. So they're stupid. And the switch is too weak. It's so easy to turn on. Excuse me. So, yeah, I don't really know what Ibanez are really playing at, but I would like another one at some point. I'd love to try an original. I'd love to try an original next to the V2 and see if there is any difference whatsoever, but the originals are like hen's teeth. You just can't find them. And if you do find an original WH10, they're so expensive. And yeah, that puts it way out of my price range. I'll never be able to afford one of those things. But yeah, I have heard rumours that they're discontinuing it again. But I always thought it was discontinued. I thought they kind of brought it back out again. I was a bit confused when they brought it back out again. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they discontinue it again, to be fair with you. They're just a bit weird. I don't know. They're a bit weird with the Ibanez Wah. I've got to say, Ibanez are a bit strange with it. I don't really understand what they're doing. I mean, I don't know if it's a faithful reproduction. It sounds like it to me, but like I say, not having tried an original, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I have heard rumours, but I thought it was discontinued myself. I just thought there was kind of like, you know, just some stock lying around the place, you know, that people wanted to get rid of. But I don't know. I might email Ibanez and ask them, actually, what's going on with the Ibanez Wah, the V2. Might be worth a shot. You never know. They probably won't reply, but you never know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna eBay. I'm gonna eBay. I'm not gonna eBay, but I'm gonna email Ibanez, everybody. I'm gonna ask what's going on with the WH10, because I'm curious. Because I love the wah pedal itself. It's my second favorite wah pedal of all time, and I do love it. Okay, so I hope this answers your question. People of the tube, chime in. Have you heard anything about the discontinuation of the V2 Ibanez Wah? Yeah, if you know anything about it, leave a comment in the comment section below. Okay, moving on to question 5 now. Okay, so question 5, and I'm not sure how I'm going to answer this one. It's a bit of a difficult one to answer because, well, I'll say the question. I'm being all cryptic now. Anyway, question 5 is, could you go into more depth on your picking technique? I don't know. I don't know what I do. I don't know if it's anything special. I spat all over my guitar, everybody, because I'm speaking. I don't know if there's anything really special in my picking technique, to be honest with you. I don't really feel there's anything... I don't really feel I'm doing anything, but that's how I hold the plectrum. So, you know, quite a bit of it. And I say, my plectrums always look like they dome over, so I hope you can kind of see. Look, I am plectrum face. Bow before me, my plectrumy goodness. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going on about. But I don't really know. I don't. People ask me questions like this quite a few times, and I don't actually know what I do because I don't analyze my playing, and I'm no good at analyzing my playing. If you know what I mean, because I just don't. I don't really know what I do, so this is hard. It's hard question to answer because I don't actually know if I do anything different or special. I don't think it's special at all. I highly doubt it's special what I do with a pick. But like I said, I tend to hold it with 2 fingers instead of. I've seen people hold it with 3. Eddie Van Halen holds it with his middle finger in his thumb. But I really don't know what I do. Honestly, I really am. I'm sorry, I don't actually have an answer for this. But no, I thought I had something then, I didn't. I was about to say something that totally wasn't true. I thought, oh, do I do that? No, I don't. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I tend to just use the tip of the plectrum like I'm guessing everybody does. If I'm playing super fast, sometimes I'll use the side. But I'm sorry, I'm struggling. I really struggle when people ask me questions about what I do. I really struggle. I don't actually know because I don't actually understand what I do because I don't care to analyze it. If that makes any sense. Like some people have been asking me for excuse me for a couple of years, can I do a series on how I play? And I keep having to say no, I can't because I honestly I don't know. I don't know where to start. I really don't even know where to start. I really don't. I mean, people have been asking me, can we have a series on how to play like Dave Simpson? It's like I don't know what to do. I don't know what I do. I don't see how I do things because it's a natural thing that's just developed where I just do it. You know what I mean? I don't. I've tried to analyze what I do, and I've kind of thought about kind of doing stuff, but I've never got anywhere with it. I always struggle. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally don't have any clue what I'm doing. And then I feel that if I was to just kind of say, oh, I'm doing this and this and this, and I start to second guess it, it'd be wrong to put that out. 'Cause, you know, it's not being honest to you. So yeah, I can't do a series on me, and I can't really answer this question because I don't know. I mean, like I say, I just tend to anchor with my 3 fingers, and just kind of I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hide. Maybe if I hide long enough, this question will go away. No, it's still there. But where do you think you're going, Mr. Paper? Yeah, I mean, and then I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I seriously I don't actually know what I do. Picking technique. I really don't. I'm sorry. It's like other than anchoring and playing with the tip of the pick, and if I want to play really fast, kind of if I'm kind of start going a bit mental, shreddy wise. I tend to use the side of a pick. And also, my finger gets involved. I don't know if you can see, this is pretty gross, but my fingernail is totally worn down on this finger because that fingernail gets involved in picking as well. So there's kind of like an element of this finger when I play as well. It acts as like another plectrum almost, if you will, especially when I'm strumming. So I ain't had a long fingernail on this finger for years. So, It gets absolutely trashed, that fingernail does. Okay, so I'm really sorry if that's not an answer at all, is it? I do apologise immensely for not having an answer for that, but I honestly don't know. I can't go in depth in my picking techniques. I don't actually know what I do at all. I just do it. It's just one of those things. It's just that I just play. I don't think about what I do. I just do it. it's hard to kind of go, oh, I do this and I do this, and if you do this, this and this and this, I don't understand it. I'm sorry, I just don't understand. So I'm gonna have to move on. So I do apologise immensely for that, not being able to answer that question. I'm very, very sorry. I'm very, very, very sorry. I wish I could answer it, but I just can't. I feel really bad for that, not being able to answer it. It's like when people ask me, can you tab something out for me? It's like I can't, and I can't. Because I'm dyslexic, I can't tab stuff out because numbers are one of my problems. I'm no good at maths and numbers confuse me. So I can't tab stuff, and I always feel really guilty when I can't do stuff like that for people. I wish I could, but, it'd take me 100 years, and, you'd get fed up by that point. So yeah, I hope well, that hasn't answered your question at all, so I can't say I have answered your question, so I haven't answered it at all. So I'm very, very sorry, but I'm going to have to move on to question 6. Okay, so question 6. Question 6. You said your favourite John Frusciante tone is the Californication era. Could you describe the other main tones that he got through his career? And also, what's your pre-show routine, pre-gig routine, and what are your warm-up exercises? Okay, so I'll get to the John Frusciante one in a sec, but I just want to answer this quick. What are your warm-up exercises? I just like to play. I don't really run scales that much. I do every now and again, but I just like to play songs all the way through. So if I get time, sometimes you don't get time, but I like to just kind of like noodle about with the guitar and play songs like, Hey Joe or whatever. I'll just sit down and I'll just play guitar for a while. I like to play guitar I would love to play guitar like for about an hour before I went on and played, but at the level I'm at, that's not possible. So, especially if you're in a noisy pub, it's kind of impossible to do that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my warm-up thing, and my pre-show kind of like thing is to do. I just like to play guitar. I just like to play. It calms me down. It gets me ready for it. It gets me in kind of like in the mind frame of what I'm doing. So that's about it, really. I've started to do kind of stretches, like, hand stretches and stuff like that, and I have started to do kind of like more kind of scale runs, but not. I get bored of them very quickly. I just like to play songs, but just kind of get my hands going. So that's kind of what I do pre-gig, really. If I'm at a gig, I'll just kind of sit with a guitar. I don't like to leave my guitars anywhere. I like them with me at all times if I'm at a gig. And I feel more comfortable with a guitar no matter where I am. If I'm out and about without a guitar, I feel wrong. I feel like I'm missing a limb. It's horrible. I don't like it at all. The guitar is my grounding point, and I would take it everywhere I could if I could. And unfortunately, it's not possible. You can't just be sat at a dinner party with a guitar in your hand. Sadly, you should be able to. It's not fair. But anyway, not that I go to a dinner party. I don't go out. So anyway, on those rare occasions. Anyway, moving along. So yeah, my pre-show routine and warm-ups and stuff like that is just playing and doing a bit of stretching and just kind of get kind of like to a decent kind of like level, where I'm relaxed. It doesn't always happen. I always kind of like, you always have an adrenaline rush, and certain things can like send you a bit wappy here and there, especially if you've got kind of, anxiety issues. But yeah, that's what I do kind of show thing. Okay, so moving on to the other thing you asked about, John Frusciante's tones. Yeah, Californication era is my favourite tone. It's kind of like John's tone in Californication is kind of like very kind of distorted, darker, but it's got a growl to it, and I really, really like it. There's something in that sound, and I love the way his DS2 sounded around that time, combined with the Boss fuzz pedal as well. It's really warm, just really warm sounding. So that was, yeah, the Californication era is my favourite because it's a bit more kind of gained up, a bit more dirty, and a bit more kind of like fatter, warmer sounding. When you get into kind of By the Way period, it's kind of like cleaner a little bit. There's less kind of distortion on his tone. It's a lot more kind of clean-ish kind of tone. It's a lot less kind of. It's a bit brighter as well, especially if you look at the Rock AM Ring gig in 2004. It's a lot cleaner, and it's a lot brighter at that point in time. And then when you get to Stadium Arcadium, it's a little bit more distorted than By the Way. but not a great deal. But there's a higher end to the Stadium Arcadium tone. So you get Californication, which is kind of dark, warm, and round and fat. Then by the way, it's kind of fat but cleaner, and then Stadium Arcadium's a little bit more distorted but cleaner, and there's a little bit more warmth added to it. By the way, it was a bit more of a different kind of tone altogether, really, and you can hear it on the album as well. It's a lot different. And then if you go back to Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I mean, the tones he had for Blood Sugar Sex Magic are ridiculously clean, like heavily compressed, crystal clean kind of tones. And then if you go back to Mother's Milk, John's tones are really gnarly. Really gnarly. I mean, the Mother's Milk era when he's using his Ibanez guitars, switching to his Fender, it's really distorted. Really distorted, very trebly, nasty kind of tone, but really, really cool at the same time. It's a cool little evolution, actually, if you kind of like put it all together. Sorry, but I'm going to have to yawn. Oh! I didn't sleep very well last night, everybody, so I do apologise for that immense sleep, sorry. But yeah, like I say, Mother's Milk era, John's got a kind of gnarly, very toppy kind of clean tone, but it's not really clean. There's a lot of distortion on John's tone at that period of time. And then Blood Sugar Sex Magic is very, very clean. The tour, not so much. Live, John's tone isn't as clean. When he's using JCM 800s, they're kind of cranked, so they're not as clean, but the album clean is very clean. And then you get into Californication with my favourite era of Fat, Warm, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I could do a whole video on that. But I am going to stop myself there because I'm not running out of time, but I am going to stop myself there because Tangent Boy will appear. I can feel him. He's coming. And we will be on that subject for hours, and I've got one more question to do. But like I say, my favourite is Californication, just because it's got that more fat, warm, rounded sound. The tone on the Off the Map DVD is kind of like my favourite John tone. Well, anything from 1999 to 2000, 2001 is my kind of like favourite John era of playing, tone, and in general, just my favourite era of John. His guitar solos around that time just make you just melt. If you like John Frusciante, if you don't, then you'll that's fair enough. But his guitar tone and his solos around that time are just absolutely. They were life changing to me to hear that tone. It was kind of like that's the sound I wanted, and that's the tone I always wanted to get, and still kind of working towards getting my approximation, of it. So yeah. So I have this question. Move on to final question of the day. Ready? Question 7. Okay. So excuse me. Question 7 today is: do you think John Frusciante's tone on his solo albums is cleaner than the stuff in the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Yes and no. Some songs are very clean. Some songs on John's solo stuff are ridiculously clean. Like, absolutely Fender amp, no breakup whatsoever clean. Whereas some of John's solo stuff is very kind of like his Chili Peppers kind of sound. So yeah, it's yes and no, really. It's a hard one to answer, but I would say yes sometimes, but no to other times. It depends on the song. If you take a song like Murderers, that sounds like ridiculously clean. That's like stupidly clean. Like, like absolutely no distortion on that whatsoever. Compared to something like I'm Around on Inside of Emptiness, that sounds a little bit more distorted. And stuff like and you can get stuff like Central, on the Empyrean album. I think that's kind of heavily distorted, but kind of more distorted, kind of clean guitar tone. So it's yes and no. It depends on the song, really, and the album as well. You also asked, did he use Marshalls or other amps in his solo albums? As far as I know, it was other amps. I think the only album, from what I've read, the only album that John used his Chili Peppers setup, his Silver Jubilee and his Marshall Major, was the Empyrean. Other than that, it was all sorts of stuff. It could be Fenders, it could be Marshalls, it could be anything. So there are variables, if you will. So, but yeah, the Empyrean is the only album I know that he said he used Marshall's the Silver Jubilee and the Major on. But that's not to say that the Silver Jubilee could be on an album on its own, or the Major could be on an album on its own, not combined. You know, it's. I mean, we'll never know. John never really went into great detail of what he used for his solo stuff, apart from to record Water was recorded. Record Water for only 10 days was recorded using a pod because he wanted a lo-fi sound, so he used a pod for that, and it sounds like his Jaguar. For the entire album, it sounds like a Jaguar to me. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds like his Jag to me. And like I say, the Empyrean is his entire Chili Peppers setup. For the DC EP, he borrowed a Les Paul Jr. So the DC EP is a Les Paul Jr. He borrowed it off a friend. I remember him saying that in an interview. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. John's got quite a lot of amps. I've seen him using like Fenders and you know, his main tone is the Silver Jubilee and the Major, but who knows? I mean, we'll never know. But it could be anything. It literally could be anything. It could have been a Mesa Boogie for all we know. It could have been anything. It could have been a Gibson amp. It could have been anything. I mean, I'm sure John's got a big collection of guitars, and I'm sure he's got a quite eclectic collection of amplifiers as well, so we'll never really know. But yeah, he does use Marshalls, but on his solo stuff. But I think when he was doing his solo stuff, he wanted to kind of distance himself from that stuff a little bit. So I think he would probably go out of his way. Not I don't know John very well. I don't know John at all, actually, personally. But it feels to me like he would probably go out of his way to use different amps just to create a different sound for his solo stuff. But there are certain songs like I'm Around and stuff like Off Shadows Collide that sound like it is either a Silver Jubilee or a Marshall Major combined. But we'll never really know. Sorry everybody, I'm stretching. Oh, it's been one of those nights. It was just terrible sleep. Okay, so I'm yawning again. Sorry, everybody. Really, I'm sorry. Okay, so, yeah, does he use Marshalls? Yes and no. It's the same as, like, you know, his tone on the Chili Peppers and the solo stuff. Yeah, it does change, but it's also the same sometimes. So, yes and no to that. Okay, so the last thing you asked, is there a possibility of you ever stopping the videos on your channel in the near future? I certainly hope not. No, I don't have any plans to stop doing videos. And I certainly hope that I can keep doing videos. It's actually one of my biggest fears in life to all of a sudden have to stop doing this, because I love doing this and I enjoy doing this more than so many, you know, I just love it. I just love making videos and I love reading your comments and I just love it. I just enjoy sharing my love of guitar to people in the world. It just really makes me happy. You know, really, really happy. I just love doing what I do. You know, it really is. It's like, you know, something I'm just kind of absolutely obsessed with guitar, and to be able to share it with all of you out there is just like the best thing in the world. It really is the best thing in the world. I just wish I could give more. You know what I mean? To all of you out there, I just wish I could give more back. I don't feel I've... But again, at the same time, like I said, I don't feel I've given enough to you all for your support and for what you do for the channel. And because of that, I'm always trying to get better at this and do better things, you know, and do videos that you want to see and this and the other. I've got such a backlog of videos that I need to get done. And it's all thanks to you lot. You know, this channel isn't big because of me. This channel isn't big. This channel isn't anywhere what it is because of me. This channel is where it is because of you. You know, that's as simple as that. You know, you have put me here. I haven't done that. You've done that. You know, it's you know, if you weren't there to watch this channel wouldn't be here. You know, so I can't ever thank you enough. I really can't. I can't express how grateful I am to every single one of you out there in YouTube land. I really can't. I really can't. I was blown away when this channel got 100 subscribers, let alone how many it's got now, which just is... It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's way beyond my expectations. And to be where it is absolutely humbling beyond. It really is. It's absolutely humbling. But it makes me want to do better and do good by all of you. It makes me want to do better videos. It makes me want to do better content and just keep going and giving you what you want to see. You know, if I know how to do something and you don't know how to do something, I want to be able to show you how to do it. You know, because it's not fair me keeping that knowledge to myself. I don't like people who do that. I don't like the idea of kind of like, you know, I know this, but I'm not telling you how to do it. It's like, I like to be able to show you how to do it. I mean, because at the end of the day, I can show you how to do it. It's up to you to go out there and earn it. Because I can show you how to go and go, you know, to do something like that. But you've got to then go away and practice that to the point where you can do it. And that's when you earn it. You know, that's when you earn it. But it's nice for somebody to tell you how to do things, and that's what's really cool. So, if, like, you know, if you're stuck on a song, I don't know how to do this, and I can show you how to do it, and then you go away, practice it, and then you can do it. That's the best thing in the world. That is the best thing in the world, and I love doing that. And I love doing videos like Unlocking the Neck, and I love doing the John Frusciante series, the Jimi Hendrix series, the Peter Green series, the Rory Gallagher series. I really want to do a Paul Kossoff series. I just haven't got round to it yet. You know, there's so many things I want to do. I just haven't got round to them yet. It's mad. It's mad how busy I am doing this, and I love it to bits. And like I say, it's all because of you, and I cannot thank all of you enough. I really can't. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and I do not intend to stop doing this ever. No, there is no possibility. There is no possibility that I'm going to stop unless, you know, something horrific happens. And, you know, let's, you know, touch wood that doesn't happen. You know, because if it did, it'd be absolutely heartbreaking for whatever reason. You know, for me, especially if I had to stop doing it, I'd be absolutely broken because I love doing this. It's just something I am absolutely dedicated and committed to, 100%. I don't do anything else. You know, outside of gigging, which is the same thing. You know, it's making music and going out there and entertaining and just, you know, just being a musician. I don't do anything outside of being a musician because I don't want to do anything outside of being a musician because this is what I love to do. And thanks to all of you lot, I'm able to do that right now. In the future, like you said, like none of us can predict the future. No, we can't, sadly. But if something did come along where I have to stop doing videos, then it would be absolutely heartbreaking. So, no, I have no intention of stopping. No, I have no intention of stopping any of the series I'm doing. None of the series I've done, the John Frusciante one, the Jimi Hendrix one, the Peter Green one, the Rory Gallagher series, none of those series are finished. I have way, way, way more videos to do on those series. I have way more teaching videos to do. I have way more demos to do. I have way more things to talk about and share and waffle on about. So, no, I have no intention of stopping anytime soon, and it's all because of you lot and your continued support for this channel. Thank you all so much. It just is it means the world to me to have all you out there watching these videos. Thank you so much. The words don't come close. They do not come close, and they never will come close to how grateful I am. Thank you so much. It really is everything to me. Thank you so much indeed. To share my love of guitar to all of you out there is a gift that I could have never asked for. Have I asked for? That's probably the wrong way of wording that. I could never have dreamed of. It really is. That's what I wanted to say. You know, it really is. It's a gift that I could never have dreamed of. I always wanted to. I always love sharing. It's all I talk about. Anybody who I'm sure I drive people balmy with it, but all I want to talk about all day is guitar and music. That's all I want to talk about. I don't have any interest in anything else. I don't have an interest in anything. I just love this because this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love. I love these things, and because of that, that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do, and to be able to share that with all of you out there in YouTube land, it's just like, it really is a dream come true. And like I say, it's all because of you lot. It's not because of me. It's not because of what I do. If you weren't there to watch, this channel wouldn't be here. You're supporting this channel. You make this channel what it is. You know, because you're there watching it. You know, and that's the biggest gift I could ever get from from anyone. It's just incredible. And because of that, I want to give everything I know and everything I love back. You know, as long as there's people there to watch it, I will keep doing videos. You know what I mean? It really is. It literally is like that. I'm not going to stop until I literally can't do it anymore. You know, for whatever reason. You know, touch wood, that'll never happen. But yeah, the whole idea of having to stop is just horrific to me. It scares the living monkeys out of me. So, yeah. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I really don't. No. I don't even want to take a break from it. I'm sure that drives people balmy, but literally all I want to do is just to make videos. I don't want to take a holiday from doing these. I don't want to take a week off. I don't want to take, a day off. I hate when I have to miss a day doing a video. I hate, I like doing my 3 videos a week, and I hate it when I can't get a video up on on a day. It drives me mad. I can't stand it. So, but hopefully, what I do will always be useful or entertaining. The moment it isn't, then you all need to tell me, and you need to tell me what you want to see. Because, like I said, this channel is for you. It's important for me to know what you want in videos, and what you want to see is really important to me. I need to know. I want to know, so I can then do that. And in doing that, it enhances the channel, so to say, because it's not just kind of like, just whatever, I mean, it's serving you, which is what it should be doing. The moment the channel doesn't serve you anymore is the moment it shouldn't really be there, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, I can't thank you all enough for supporting this channel. It really is the absolute, that means the absolute world to me. It really does. I can't express it. I really can't express it enough. I really cannot. It's hard to put into words. It's hard to find the words. So thank you all so very, very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so very much indeed. And as long as you're there, I'll be here as well. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A session. I hope I've answered your questions okay, apart from one about my picking technique, which I don't have any clue about. Sorry, I just don't know any idea what I do. So, yeah, so I apologise for that. But I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, everybody, and I will see you again on Friday for another video. It's going to be a fun one. I've got a very, very interesting guitar to show you on Friday, and I'm sure you'll get a laugh out of it. I'll get a broken back out of it, but it'll be worth it. So, thank you very much indeed, everybody. You all mean the world to me. Thank you very much. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. Goodbye now. I don't know why I do that stupid face at the end of every video. Let's do a different face.